Was, at least she can just sit there. And so that's good. I'm sorry, interrupted. We're gonna.
No, I was just asking.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Additional staff.
Stan called me
Cool.
last week, Stan Barnett.
Cool.
Just see how I was doing.
Nice.
I haven't talked to him in a while. We talked for about 45 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Hello and welcome. Thank you. You're going to be welcomed officially when we get started here. Oh, and how are we with the, oh, and the light's on. Okay. And I'm so glad to see you. I don't mean to play the mother card and give you guilt to come, but I appreciate you coming.
I'm happy to be.
Okay, I think we'll call the meeting of the Washington Historic Preservation Commission to order for Monday, October 9th. If we could have the roll call, please.
Carolyn Witt,
Present.
Joe McGowan,
Here?
Brian Bogue,
Here.
Rick Hopp,
Here.
Deanna Fitzgerald,
Here.
Andrew Clary,
Here.
Tim Pepsel, Tyler King, Jeff Patke,
Here.
Al Bear,
Here.
Sal Maniaci,
Here.
Sarah Skeen.
Okay, if everyone would rise and join me for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag Okay, we would like to welcome some new faces, which I'm excited, from every direction. Deanna, would you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Deanna Fitzgerald. I live right next to Andrew Clary over there, who recommended me to try this thing out. So, yeah, and we're 7 years in Washington. We just got our third downtown house to renovate. So we really love the architecture here, and we love Washington.
This is good. It's good to hear. And Mr. McGowan?
I'm Joe McGowan. I'm an architect. I work with Cochrane over in Union, and I've been on downtown Washington, involved with them for about 15 years or so, and just was asked to be on this, and here I am.
Well, we're very grateful because it's nice to have an architect on the scheme of things. And Sal, would you
Yeah.
introduce Sarah?
So, and then to my right here is Sarah Skeen. She is our new city planner, and she started today. So,
Welcome.
first day, and we're gonna have 2 evening meetings, so totally get used to it. So, yeah, yeah. So, I'll still be at all the meetings for the, foreseeable future, well into the new year, and then, big projects come up, we'll both work on them together, so. But yeah, we'll start transitioning Sarah into Historic Preservation and Planning and Zoning Commission.
Excellent, excellent.
Can I say a little?
Yes, please.
I've been with the city for a year and a half. I've lived here for about a year and 3/4. So I'm really excited that I dove right in, and here I am. So that's it.
Well, welcome. Okay,
Well, and I will just say Tim Pepsel, he's our third new member, but he is actually in Nashville helping choose the next year's fair band. So
that's
he is
all right.
traveling, but he did
important.
He did send a note and just to let us know that he wasn't going to be available. So
Deanna, have you seen the guideline book here?
I have not.
Okay, if you go to, Jamie would probably be able to give you one.
Yes, I will get you a copy.
Okay.
Actually, I can go start printing it now, so it'll be.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's got all the kind of things we would talk to a developer or a contractor, thank you, let me steal that, and to get ideas of what we would like to see as historic preservation. And what is really cool about that book, it's been in the works for years. I can't remember, it goes back to the DREAM, when we got the DREAM initiative from the state, and that helped fund it. And initially, we had pictures from other places. And now when you look through the book, so many of them are from down here, or over there, or, I mean, they're right here, and you can look at these pictures, and you don't have to drive very far to see it, to see how they're supposed to look, or that we hope things would look. And as far as our meeting tonight, I think the main thing we're here for is for Andy, and we are going to have a meeting. It'll be our regularly scheduled meeting for the last one this year. Will be in November. So I'm so grateful that we have so many of you here tonight, but I feel like since we're going to have another official meeting, if there's anything, there's one or two things I'd like to, like the upcoming education, there's our yearly CLG meeting is October 20th. And if anyone else would like to go, it would be fine, but I will be there. So we're a certified local government by the state, and that has certain, in order to be a certified local government, you have to have a Historic Preservation Commission appointed by the mayor, and we are a design review. Basically, we are here as a resource to try and help people go the right way when they're developing.
And if you have to keep up your standards with CLG in order to be eligible for grants.
Exactly, and those grants are the things that help pay for our designation, historic districts. Right now, we've got, the shoe factory is currently in the works, and that money, you have to hire somebody to come in and do a investigation of the neighborhood to get it designated, and that money came from the state, so that's because it's important to be part of that. And one of the things, they encourage us to have education during the year, and you can do this on webinars, you can do it at workshops, or you can, there are a variety of ways to get it. And if you do go to the CLG meeting, that counts. So I think we will get to Andy.
Yeah, so.
This is exciting.
Yep, so I'll pull up the plans, but it is exciting because if you remember, I think the first time we looked at renderings for the Front Street TIF development that we started was, I think, in November of 2017. I look back today. It was the first time we looked at renderings for this. And actually, if you zoom in far enough on our old aerials, you can see what all this area used to look like.
Wow.
I mean, there's 2.5 blocks of a lot of vacant ground or dilapidated. And
Used to sled on that hill.
yeah, now as you zoom out, you can see the updated aerials. So this piece here at the corner of Main and Jefferson is the last property, Building E, in the development agreement. And per the development agreement, the only requirement in the TIF agreement was that the ground floor be commercial, and then the second, third, or up to, however many stories he wanted, could be commercial or residential. And then obviously, because they are using public funds, it's mandatory review, mandatory compliance. So Andy's here to submit request a certificate of review so we can issue a building permit. And I will pull up the renderings we emailed as well.
Just to clarify, mandatory review, mandatory compliance is unusual because we are an advisory commission, and we have, if it's anything outside, done to an outside building in the historic district, comes before us to be reviewed. But whatever we decide or talk about, the property owner is not restricted to do exactly what we ask to do. But in this case, because TIF funds are involved, watch out. No. It's so seldom we get to say that, so.
All right, well, I'm Andy Understall with Front Street Development. This is our last build on the original TIF project, like Sal said, started in 2017. It's kind of been a long time in the making because it's always looking for somebody to have an idea what to use the building for the commercial side. But never really ran into anybody, but it's kind of pushed down the road far enough now where I got to get it done. I should have did this before I did some of my other projects, but I really didn't have a bunch of interest in it. So now I have a guy that's interested in purchasing the whole building. He wants commercial on the first floor, and he would like the other two floors would be 4 apartments on each floor, like 1,200 square foot apartments. And if we don't put this together with him, then I will condo the building, and I'll put 4 units, 2 on each floor, and I'll condo it off and sell off the top 4 units, and leave commercial on the first floor. And that way, it's because I don't want to hold on to the building, and that would be the easiest way to get rid of it unless someone else comes along and has interest in it. But he seems pretty adamant that he's going to take it, and hopefully we can put that together. So, but this This project here, we selected some different products for. We're wanting to go with a honed stone on the first floor, on the first floor elevation. And Joe pointed out a while ago, and then when you see it up here on the picture, it might be a little heavy on stone there on that, on the back half of the building. But we really could bring that brick down. Joe, your comment earlier, just standing here looking at this now, because the other side of the building has the brick where the elevator shaft is in, coming
Right.
down. And we could also bring that brick down on that there, so it doesn't look, it's a lot of stone, going up. Also, it would, probably be a significant savings compared to the stone versus the brick. So-
I'm always looking out for you, Andy.
Yeah, good job. So, and, when you see it up here, looking at a little 9x11 or 11x17, you see it in color up here. I kind of agree. It looks a little heavy, but there's no, other choice is that we would take the foundation under the windows there and use, just like a limestone or something, and then
Yeah.
go to the honed stone. We pretty much put stone on the bases of all the buildings we've done downtown. So that would be something that we would consider. So the front of the building has the stone, like I said, up to the second floor. Those windows are floor to ceiling, basically like 9'4" tall on the first floor. And I think they're 12 foot wide, but there'll all be black aluminum storefront in there. And then the windows up above will be an Anderson window, and above that, and they'll be black also.
This one's a little bit better detailed.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. And they show a groove in between there. We haven't decided if that should be grout or, sometimes they'll take this stone and put like an inch or inch and a half strip in between there and inset it, to kind of break that up. But these panels will be, at least 2 foot long and, probably, either, 12 to 16 inches wide, once we get them. We're waiting to hear back from the company that makes this here through Earthworks, for them, so, the product. But, so that would be probably the only thing up, but the other brick detail is pretty similar. It shows 2 different color bricks there, but it's not, it's just one. It's just to give you some definition, otherwise it would just look, flat. And we're thinking of, one of these 2 bricks right now. It's, we want something with a little more brown in it, instead of so orangey. And so one of these 2 would be our go-to, materials for that building, so. Let's see what else about it, I gotta tell you.
Is really quick, the north elevation that we had up there a minute ago, is it the stone the same as what's down low here? Is it two?
Yeah, it's the stone comes around the corner and quits there on the.
Okay.
And then those underneath are parking, parking stalls. There's no garage door, it's just, pull-in parking, covered parking. So the tenant parking will literally be in that lower lot. Because I have, I think, 33 parking spots there total.
Right.
We're leaving, I was going to do another building there, but with all the stuff going on downtown, I don't want to build a commercial space that wouldn't have parking. I hate to have parking along there, but we submitted it in our original plans to have it as a parking lot. I always thought of building another building there, which would be, a little more profitable than a parking lot, but I don't see building a commercial space without it. I think we could definitely get a decent tenant in there with that parking, with it. So I think it would make the building, more sustainable that way. But
So all that parking is for the retail, or is some of it for the?
well,
Which one's for the
tenant
tenant?
parking would be on the back side of the building. If you go to you got the site plan there too?
Right.
Jeff?
Where the lot is?
There's I think there's, let me go to the site plan once here. It's third up from the bottom.
There it is.
There you go. So it'd be easier than trying to explain it. So there's 6 parking spots out, and then there's 5 in the building. So there's 11 parking spots with that part. So ideally, that would be where the tenants would park. It's not quite enough, but not everybody has 2 cars, or, and they can still use the other lot. But we want, they actually do not have a You know, the second floor, or the main floor, doesn't really have any use of the basement. It has a set of steps down there, but we put the trash dumpsters up on the top because there was no way to kind of mix the elevator and the stairs. Like if you say somebody would put a restaurant in there, you couldn't, it would be too much of a crossover. You'd have them dragging trash up and down, going, you know, we had the dumpster behind the building, but it just did not work for, you know, for practicality. So, so we ended up moving the dumpsters up, changing the parking lot configuration a little bit, and putting, and we also was able to add an outside patio there to the left, a little patio area on the exterior too, on top of that retaining wall. Instead of, it used to have a curve to it, now we're running it straight out, and then we're going to run a stamped concrete wall straight out into that retaining wall. So the owner of a lot can have a patio out there on that, so. So that would, but that way they'll come in the elevator on that lower level and go up to the second and third floor. That'd be the plan there, so. I think there's what, there's 8, 16, 24, 25. So I think there's 25 in the main lot and then the others down below, so.
So the whole basement's parking, or?
No, just pulling into the face of it. I don't want to, it's not big enough to turn around or anything to have a parking garage.
All right,
So we're just leaving it open so that it's more like a carport, so. Otherwise you get into exhaust fans and ventilation and all that stuff, because it's shared, you know, so.
Andy, how big is the open area between this building and the other townhouse at the other side?
Bring that up one more time back to the side. It's probably,
100?
yeah. What is that total there? So that's probably 20, 40, 60, and then 2 driving lanes. You can add them up there if you can see them. There's 2 26s. About 100, good 100 feet, 120 feet probably total, I'd say.
And that'll
Yeah,
be
no.
parking lot.
Yeah, that'll be parking lot in there. So, and then there'll be some, along the top of the retaining wall back there where the bed's end, there'll be some green space, you know, there at the back of the lot, you know, by the fence at the retaining wall.
And then you'll finish the grand wall.
Yeah, the other wall will come into that wall. They have to meet up there in the corner. So that's why we haven't finished it, because we gotta tie them together. So it'd be hard to get, you can't really cut them off once they're up there. So, but that's our thinking on it anyway. Like I said, it's 5,000 square, a little over 5,000 square foot. I think 5,140 or something per floor. So probably about 5,000 square foot of usable space per floor. So it'll be 15,000 square foot, you know, 10 residential and 5 commercial. So thereabouts.
Is the commercial designed for one or multiple?
It could be, we put 2 doors in so they could split it, because he was like, because a lot of commercial spaces are about 2,000 square foot, 2,200. See more, you know, so you have an entrance on the corner and you have the other entrance on the side. Where that, the reason that window's missing there is, Joe probably would realize what this is, but that's a shear wall. I had a window in there, but he wanted to put that panel next to the front door and we moved it over there. I hated to, you know, I don't want that there, but he said that would be a good spot for some signage, you know, possibly, because I had to have a shear wall on that floor, and that's why some of the, like in the back here too, we don't have windows in some areas because of the shear walls. We're in an E design group there, worst ever, so.
Right.
With the soil. So, everything, went up, by 25% on the steel and the piers and the concrete and everything.
I think Andrew asked this question earlier, I didn't
Yeah.
catch the answer. The stone is what's gonna be in the light, but then is that a stucco?
That yellow is it's not gonna be that color, obviously, but that's stucco. That's all ephes, because that hangs out the back of the building, and it has to carry, it's cantilevered over those basement garages down there. If you go, look at the side view there on the right top there, you can kind of see how that sticks out, on there, so. And that, we can't really brick that because of the loading,
So you'll have red brick, you'll have
Yeah,
white stone.
the brick, and
you'll
then
have
the
stucco.
stone would be on there, but I think I do, just looking at this other side, it really has, and then I could do some brick detail in the middle. I think with that brick coming down, if I did the same on this side, I think it would probably actually work out pretty good, so.
That would be good.
Like on those vertical runs, like in this, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, well,
Or-
you see that where it says west elevation, underneath, right there where you just had the cursors out. Yeah, I think you had, okay. Yeah, right there, that. See how the other, look, and then look at the east elevation where the elevator is, the brick comes all the way down.
Yep.
So thinking maybe we should do the same thing there, is bring the
Make the-
brick all the way down and leave the stone just stop off there. So,
Gotcha.
I don't know, what do you think of that? I mean, that's.
That'd be good. That would kind of
Yeah, I
soften
mean,
it.
It looked like, you know, it's a stone's getting really high there. We never really had anything else that was that high. And this is totally different looking than stone because it doesn't have the
Right.
texture, but, and it'll be bigger panels, but still, it looks like a lot when I stand here now and look at it. So, you know.
what are you doing with canopies at the front door or awnings?
I don't know, nothing designed for that yet. That would be like a tenant finish, you know, kind of thing. They'd have to submit that. The porch door on the side is covered, I'm pretty sure, isn't it, on the right side? It's underneath. If I remember right.
This one?
The one to the one to the, no, maybe it's not, the one to the left there, on the east elevation, Sal, next to the elevator, overlook, one more thing, right there, those doors. I
On
thought
the
that
other
was
side of the
inside a little
elevator.
bit. Huh?
The other side of the back side of the elevator.
Yeah, backside of the elevator, so. Yeah, one's the entrance to the elevator for the apartments, and the other one's the entrance to the commercial space, so. And then it kind of all ramps down, it's all handicap accessible to that patio and then to the deck, so.
So just to clarify, on the north elevation, that's all stucco?
Yeah, that's all gonna be stucco above the, on that there, will all
And
be
there's
stucco.
nothing you can do about that?
Not really, because it's, you know, just for the loading of it and, with the way the bill, you know, because that cantilever's out over top of it,
Did you paint some bricks on there?
yeah.
Is it, would a comparison of that, Andy, be the residence, I guess, where market comes down to
Yeah, that ephes
front,
on
that
there.
like softer, yeah.
Yep. We had to do the same thing there, but that was on the top floor because of the, you know, the brick, once it gets a certain height, then you gotta start adding all, you know, more steel and columns and, you know, at the end of the day, it has to be buildable, you know, and sellable, you know, you
Because
put
you
as much,
can.
you know,
Yeah.
we throw as much brick and stuff at it as we can, but sometimes, you know, you gotta stop, you know, if you wanna be able to survive.
I feel like on that north elevation, I don't know what it is, but like all the speckles in that picture make it look, I don't know, some.
Oh, yeah, that just makes it
more
look really
harsh than
cheap,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
I think if you look at like
It's
the
very-
west elevation. that
Yeah,
looks a
it's,
lot-
I would
and
also
that yellow,
keep in mind that the view from this image, this rendering, is, you're like sitting at the Speckles, you're like inside the Speckles building, Speckles house.
you're looking, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
this is the most hidden side of it, I guess, is what I'm trying to point out.
Yeah, because they've got 4 stories.
3.5, yeah.
Three and a half.
Yeah, I guess, yeah,
They're all-
basement, so.
It doesn't have to be that color, right?
No, it won't be that color. It'll be some type of a, it'll probably, what actually probably happened in the batch of that, so. And we can also, we'll end up running grooves in there too, whatever we do with this. We'll have them run the grooves in the stucco once we get that, you know, once we get the, you know, get the final
So
design.
that first floor doesn't look like it's cantilevered to me though, right? It's just the apartments above, from what I'm looking at.
I'm sorry?
It looks like the apartments are cantilevered, but not.
Yeah, just the patio's cantilevered on the
Yeah,
first
look at the
floor.
west
Yeah.
elevation. see how
Yeah,
that-
Yeah, so yeah, you're right. So the patio that comes out of the back of that first commercial space, that's uncovered, I mean, that's just covered by the second floor cantilever. So, but it all kind of lines up and it gives you a, so that you have a way to get out of the back of the building, it's a little bit of seating and it ties over to that patio. So, I mean, I'd love to see a really nice restaurant go in there with the parking and all the stuff that's there, but who knows, you know, so.
that could be dangerous.
To be what?
That could be dangerous for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Andy?
Yeah.
It's gonna be sprinkled then?
Oh, yeah, it'll be fully sprinkled. There'll be, yeah, and then, of course, got the elevator, it'll be a commercial elevator, so.
I wanted to pull up the street view as well because one thing we wanted to point out when we talked internally, that the style of windows as well match across. I mean, these have not been completely renovated.
But the back ones, they've got.
Back ones have, and, you know, I think it's only a matter of time that, well, on the back side of it,
Back
they
side, yeah.
have. But, you know, So I think it's only a matter of time till this building also gets renovated, and you would hope then you would have these types, you know, you would have the same type of, that industrial window on each side of the street there.
That's perfect.
Yeah, well, we end up putting the grills in between the glass because there's no, you can't, who's gonna clean them, you know?
Yeah.
You can't, the window guy can't go up and clean each one of those little squares. you
Oh,
know?
no,
It would just
that's
be a
no fun.
nightmare. It would, you know, you'd have, all them smears in your corners. You'd never get the windows clean, you know, so.
Oh, I didn't think the
If you
Google
look
image
there,
would be this new, so
where
that's
the-
the.
where
Yeah.
the speckles,
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
It's gonna match that.
Looks better in real life.
yeah.
Yeah.
yes. Well, in that one view that looked towards the north, you could tell speckles is going to kind of block if you're on Front Street looking
Yeah,
up.
That
you-
building, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of blocks your view.
From there. Yeah, and then the X's on that other building, I don't know if you ever knew that, but that came off of the MFA that time. We robbed that off of the original MFA building that had that design on it.
Yeah.
That's why we ended up
Oh,
putting
nice.
this building,
That's cool.
using that design.
It's really neat.
Mr. Whitworth, it was going to be better. Well, this is good.
That brick X there, you're saying, Andy?
I'm sorry?
What you're looking at right there?
Yeah, that X is at the top there.
Yeah.
That was all at the top of the, if you go back and look at the old pictures of the MFA before it was tore down, that design was on there.
That's cool.
I noticed you didn't put the lean in at that building.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to still repurpose a whole bunch of, all the Bowling Feed stores still on that lot next door there. I have all the brick. I'm gonna like to use that on the elevator on the inside and on the foyers and all that, and all in the interior of the building. I'm gonna try to stick all that in there, and then I got a whole bunch of the flooring and floor joists. I'm hoping some really cool doors and stuff in that big white box trailer sitting there. That's the whole, in that building, in that trailer is all the Bowling Feed store that was salvageable, so.
That's great. Always like to hear
Bone
that.
floor and everything?
Yeah. I mean, the flooring is like 2 inches thick. It'd be nice to run it through a bandsaw and just recut it. It's really nice stuff, so,
Great.
Neat.
but,
Well, this is exciting.
so.
And I think the idea of if you could kind of soften that one wall with the brick.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to see it but, you know, I just thought it was a little bit heavy on that,
Yeah, it does, like.
that
I said, when you stand here
northwest side.
I agree.
It doesn't look as heavy, I mean, it's gonna be light colored, but still.
Right.
And I don't mind the stone going up to the first floor. I mean, there's nothing like it in Washington that right now, but that doesn't mean to say that it's not gonna look good. And, you know, he's talking about large format stones too. They're
Right.
like
Yeah, and I really don't want it, and you
12
can't
by
really do the.
24 or something like that,
Huh?
or 12 by 24? or-
Yeah, 12 by 24 panels, you
Yeah,
know.
so they're pretty
But
big
in that
stones.
bottom there, you can't really do like brick and then go to the stone, so.
No.
It's
Yeah.
either this and then something that's totally a little bit different and go with just a regular, rough stone, like
Well,
a
then you wouldn't have
foundation
a problem
limestone or
if
something,
they
but I don't
stuck
think,
with what
I don't know if it'd go with
was
this
the
or not.
initial.
I mean, I probably wouldn't have a problem with it either way. I mean, I think
Well, we'll leave that
I
up to
think
you.
it has
If
I
anybody-
think he has the intent of what we're trying to do here.
Right.
I mean, I could pick at it, but, I mean, it's got the intent of what we have. And about the only thing I think it could use is maybe an awning at the front door, but seems like it's
Yeah,
missing.
it definitely could. We
awning.
usually just don't, I mean.
But there's
there's
buildings that have that. I mean, they don't have an awning, there's just a door there, but.
I could see.
Go to the
both ways.
floor plan one, Sal, would you?
Yep.
I think running the brick down does break it up, but it also, the way it is now, separates the commercial and residential spaces.
Yeah, but on the other side, we have that same situation, and the brick comes all the way down, so,
Yeah.
so.
Well, is there a strong opinion one way or another, or should we leave it up to Andy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to see, I guess, Joe, on that corner about getting an awning on there, I guess I guess there's
Yeah, I don't know what it'd be, but,
room there, because there's that bump out and stuff there, so it would have
Yeah,
to
that
be a
was-
pretty.
Bump out.
Is it on the street, you know what I mean, because that's right up against the back of the curb,
Yeah.
on the building is. It's right along the back of the sidewalk.
yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, but you can encroach into that with an awning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And actually.
yeah, that's what I mean, yeah, and it wouldn't just have to just be a sharp, like 18, 24 inch or
Yeah,
something
you've
coming
got to
out,
be
maybe
careful
one
on
of the
Front Street.
metal one.
Awnings have a tendency to get attacked by
What do you
trucks.
mean, can't the awning
Trucks,
come into the?
when they're turning the corner.
Right away?
Yeah, as long as it's over.
Railway station,
8
the
feet.
awning has been
Or
taken
maybe a
out
sign's
several
8 feet,
times.
maybe an awning's a little bit taller, but yeah, you can hang, in our historic code, it lists things that can overhang to the right of way, over sidewalks, awnings, signs,
Okay.
that kind of thing. Actually, decks, like,
I kind of think that'd be better for the building owner to be,
Well, it would be for the front door especially,
At the
or
front
push
door.
that, or push that door in, or inside it, one or the
You
other.
could inset the door too, yeah. But then you're,
That would look sharp.
And you-
Lose some
no.
square footage that way, but
pardon me?
you lose a little square footage that way.
Use a little
Yeah.
bit, but,
It would be.
yeah.
Look at that too. We're meeting again tomorrow morning, so I might bring that up to him.
I'm not necessarily opposed to the way it is either. I'm just kind of.
I'll even throw a couple of these ideas on and send it back to you, email it back to you guys, you can look at it.
And you might mention to him there is a sign and awning grant with downtown.
yeah. I think
Have
the
a
main
little
part of this too
editorial
is
comment.
because it's mandatory, is that if there was gonna be major changes, he would have to know now before he submits
Oh,
the
absolutely,
plans.
absolutely. So-
I think what we could do is still issue the certificate of review, and then if there are minor changes that he wants to send via email, we can do that as
Definitely.
well.
And I think like Carolyn said, we can leave it up to Andy. I mean, this is a substantial investment. We
Yeah.
can look at everything else he's done downtown.
gonna
You can look
say,
at the
we have lots of
materials.
It looks good
examples.
both ways.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't even know that it would need to come back to us.
All right, well, I'll make sure, I'll have him change it up though, and then just send it back, you can take a look at it, if you guys got a comment on it, it's fine, I mean, it's even once, a lot of times, once it's up, you stand there and look at it, and you make some of these better decisions.
no,
Right.
Because it's just hard to see the three dimension of the whole thing, but there's a lot going on with the building, a lot of detail.
Right, and the intent of this section of code is that if someone comes in and requests an incentive, they don't come in with an 8-story glass structure or a vinyl sided, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was
So
not,
I think little things here and there.
I think we all knew going into this, it was not going to be something we didn't recognize,
Yeah.
so,
Might be the last one though,
yeah.
I'm about done. Wore out.
I think it's great. I think the use of materials is great. Another major investment downtown. I'd like to motion we issue the certificate of review.
Excellent. And there's a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you very
Andy.
much. Okay,
Have a great evening, thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you. Just exciting. As far as the only thing I was going to mention was about the CLG meeting, if anybody wanted to go. I think, it's Friday, the 20th of October, and it's in Jefferson City, and it starts at, they'd like you to be there around 8:30 in the morning. And if you go over the night before, they're having a dinner for anybody that was from out of, because if you're coming from Cape Girardeau or St. Joe, it's a long way, but it's not hour and a half. For us, it's not too far. And they need to know, and it's a $25 fee, but we pay for it because we're legal. And they serve lunch, and it's always informative. Some are better than others, but you can learn a lot. And it's wonderful to interact with people from all around the state that are in the same boat you are. Some in a leaky boat, and some, our boat is much better than most. I would like to make the design reviews that we've done by email, had it officially put on the record, 8 West 2nd, lit signage. Was that the Heritage Lofts? No?
Yes.
Yes,
There were two of them there, right?
yeah, Heritage
Yep,
Lofts.
there was
and
one
then-
on Second and then
Ryan.
one on the side. Yeah.
Right. And then 106 Elm, the Prisma sign, which is already up, but we had approved that by email. And 205 Jefferson Euphoria on existing pole.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was.
It was just a small hanging sign.
Yeah, it was,
Walking up Jefferson Street yet, let him get to there.
There you go. Right.
yeah, right, right,
So there it is right there.
yeah.
Yeah, they added the Euphoria
I think it's a
rage room, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, so if I have a motion, you can do all three at one time to have this officially put in the record as design review was issued.
So motion.
I'll second.
I have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay,
We do need to approve both sets of
Minutes.
minutes. Both sets of minutes, we need to approve those.
oh, yes, and we didn't have a quorum at the last meeting. I thank Rick for coming. And so if we could approve the last 2 months' meeting. I don't remember, let's see, when was the?
July and August.
Oh, July and August, that was it. We don't usually have meetings back-to-back like that. We actually theoretically meet 4 times a year, but we had to skip January, so, because of weather, and hard to imagine, and so we're catching up. And then something like this was really important because it's very seldom we do have mandatory review, mandatory compliance. And we certainly had a vested interest. It was really good to have him here to fend the questions. So if I have a motion to approve those 2 minutes, I'm sorry, I skipped right over that, didn't
I'll
I?
make
I
that
just wanted
motion.
to make sure we got
Okay, we have a motion, a second?
I'll second.
I was going to get her on them. That's okay, that's okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Yep.
Okay, is there anything else I should definitely talk about?
Well, I guess that's just for the education purposes, for the CLG, we're required to meet 4 times a year. So we do it once a quarter, and then we meet as needed for projects like this that have mandatory review, mandatory compliance, or if there is demolition requested in the historic district, we automatically call a mandatory meeting as well. That sometimes you still can't do anything about if it's not a landmark and they're not using any public dollars, but any demo in the historic district, we still try to get everyone together to at least get comments to the property owner before it happens. So,
Which is never a happy moment, unless it's something that's falling down or something.
I do want to mention on the meeting that you're going to, you were able to get yours in before the check run. So we printed the check and mailed it, so when you get there, all that should be taken care of. Tim turned his in after the check run, so I'll just have him pay when he goes, or anyone else, the check runs over, so just pay, and then we'll reimburse you. I'll send them the form to fill out.
That would be good. That would be good. Excellent. And so he's going. That's great. Terrific. Tell him he needs his MapQuest to find the building, because it's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's in the middle of a neighborhood. Overlooks the river. Okay. Our next meeting will be the 13th of November, and that will finish us off for this year, though the fiscal year runs October 1st, so I was hoping there would be funds available, because we didn't get more money. Sal takes very good care of us with our budget. He presents it to the city council so that we have money it can be used for education, or it can be used for, in the past, the plaques downtown on the buildings. And
matching
so,
funds for grants if needed. Yeah.
grants, if you have a conference that you want to go to that it pertains, that's money to support that sort of thing. But I see the mayor is here. Do you have anything you'd like to add? Okay, well, I don't want to ignore you. It's always good to have the, top dog here. This is good. If there's no further business,
Did we talk about this stuff or no?
well, I said, we could go through
Oh, okay,
that, but
that's fine.
I really
No,
don't
that's fine.
have anything to add. I assume the Calvin is always on the agenda, unfortunately.
Started, what, 5 years ago, 4 years
That's,
ago?
well, longer than that, probably, but, hope springs eternal. That, and I don't think we have anything else. As I said, we'll go through the entire agenda more at the next meeting, because, we appreciate you coming in. This was unexpected. So is there a last motion to adjourn?
A motion, we adjourn?
Second. Excellent. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you all so much for being here. It's good to see you.
You too.
No, someone bought it.
When you're on the council for 12 years, motion and second just come naturally.
Kind of went quiet. They did do the roof.
Joe, Major Clary, good to
That
meet
was
you.
worth it. Didn't
Thank you
have
for
time for a
being
roof.
part of the,
The inside.